The Tale of Betrayal, my sister's shocking engagement with my fiancé. Before we begin the story, make sure to subscribe to our channel and never miss more incredible stories every day. Isla stood up at Sunday dinner, lifted her glass, and said, "I have news," like she'd invented joy. The chandelier threw glitter on her wrist as she twisted a ring that wasn't hers to wear. It was mine, the setting I chose with Adam at Bracken & Company. Oval cut, low basket, slim pave band so it wouldn't snag sweaters. She let the room gasp first, then smiled toward him with theatrical shyness. "I said yes," she announced, and the table exploded with applause that sounded like dropped cutlery. "I'm Nora, 29, registrar at the community college, the one who keeps time honest, degree audits, timestamped petitions, change form trails. I love proof because proof loves me back. I love Adam because I thought he did the same. My deposits are already down. Venue hold, florist retainer, gown fittings logged in my calendar in neat, blue blocks. What I stand to lose is more than money. It's the version of me that believed the future was on schedule." Adam stared at his plate like it would give him a script. My mother, Elena, pressed napkins around nothing and said, "What a blessing," her voice trembling into the safe place where facts go to sleep. Lila crossed the dining room with champagne and touched my shoulder. "No hard feelings," she whispered, sugary and bright. The registrar and me counted seconds instead of oxygen. My hand drifted to my phone out of habit. I check dates when my heart stalls. Our proposal was 6 weeks ago, private, windy, and perfect. He'd said he needed more time for the public announcement. Lila's ring glowed under the chandelier exactly like the mock-ups I'd saved to my board. "Sisters share everything," she added and laughed. My tongue found the one dry word left. "When?" I asked. She kissed the air. "Soon," she said, and flashed the ring I helped choose. My chair scraped back, and the room heard my heartbeat. If families are stories, ours was always edited to favor the headline. Lila sparkling at recitals. Lila crowned homecoming darling. Lila choosing majors like outfits while I shelved books at the library and learned how to make time behave. She was 2 years older and 1,000 decibels louder, magnetic in a way teachers forgave, boys adored, and cameras couldn't stop encouraging. I was the one who remembered birthdays, who labeled chords, who knew the pantry inventory without looking. When Adam and I fought over nothing, whether to invite his college friends or keep the wedding small, Lila turned it into content. "You two are on a break," she teased at brunch, then took a photo of our awkward smiles and captioned it with a joke about trial separations. I told her to stop. She posted a story about sisters who can't take a joke. Mom begged us to be gracious. Childhood snapshots replayed while I washed the dinner plates nobody touched after her announcement. Lila blowing out my candles. Lila wearing my sweater for luck and never returning it. Lila switching assigned solos because the audience would be happier. She never apologized. She performed a bigger feeling, and we all applauded survival. Adam used to say her drama made him tired. "I love your quiet," he told me, tracing the inside of my wrist where a pulse proves a person is not pretending. When I showed him the ring style I liked, simple oval, low profile, he kissed my temple and said, "Classic, like you." We had a date saved at the waterfront, morning light, gulls arguing with the wind. I imagined vows small enough to keep. After dinner, Lila texted a photo, her hand on a steering wheel, ring front and center, caption finally chosen. I scrolled to an older message where she'd joked, "If you don't use Adam, I will." She'd added a winky face, the emoji that lets cruelty hide like a dare. I stared at the photo until pixels wobbled. Then my registrar brain clicked on with a sound like a lock. Bracken & Company doesn't call unless something's wrong or gorgeous. "Hi, Nora," the consultant chirped. "Quick question. We have your sister here for alterations on your oval pave style. Do you still want the basket low?" My tongue forgot English for a second. "My sister," I managed. "On my order?" She changed tones. "Careful now. Oh, our notes might be crossed. She's requesting taller prongs because her fiancé wants more sparkle on camera." I opened my order confirmation while we talked. My invoice number, my initials engraved inside the band, delivery set for last week, pending inspection. I thanked the consultant, hung up, and tasted metal. Then I opened Pinterest and found a new board called Rings I Deserve, created by Lila the week after Adam proposed to me in private. Inside, 10 pins matching my oval pave, captions like, "Finally my style." The florist emailed an invoice addressed to Lila, but showing my waterfront date. "Confirming peonies are okay for June 8th. The message read. I hadn't told Lila the date. Only Mom, Jess, and Adam knew. I forwarded it to Jess with shaking hands. She replied in 30 seconds, brief. "Save everything. Screenshots first, crying later." At dinner, Mom coughed behind napkins and said, "Let's not jump to conclusions." Jump? I felt pushed. Adam texted a heart and "call you in a bit," then didn't. Lila posted a meme about some women needing to learn to be happy for others. I made a folder called Proof like it could hold me up. Inside, ring invoice PDF, florist email, screenshots of Lila's board, a photo of the engraving confirmation where my order number hid like a secret tattoo. I added a note to self. Ask Bracken who picked up the ring and when. By midnight, doubt tried to be reasonable. Maybe she just admired the style. Maybe the invoice was a clerical mess. Maybe Adam would call with a hilarious explanation that would erase the new weight in my chest. I placed my phone face down, stared at the ceiling, and counted years I'd spent moderating Lila's weather. At 12:03, my phone lit with a shared album notification I didn't create. The album held 6 photos, slick cocktails, a copper bar, Lila's reflection in a window, hand lifted to her throat, ringless then, smile tuned for applause. The metadata flagged a date Adam had claimed was guys' game night. Too tired for anything, rain pounding so hard he'd fall asleep by 9. The geotag pinned a trendy lounge near the waterfront, 2 blocks from our venue. Lila had posted none of these. They sat in the gray space where people share to the wrong cloud and truth wanders out. At Sunday brunch, she performed innocence. "When it's right, it's fast," she said, stabbing a strawberry as if romance were a contest you could win with speed. Adam arrived late with flowers and eyes that wouldn't land. He kissed my cheek as if it were a handshake. Mom refilled everyone's coffee except mine. "Tell me your date," I said, plain as a ledger line. Lila chewed. "Soon," she repeated. Adam said, "Nora, can we talk?" And then didn't. I asked, "Where did you two meet up on the night of your game night?" He flinched like a poorly trained actor. Mom squeezed my knee under the table. "Don't." That night, I opened my cloud settings to check shared albums. A new engagement brainstorm appeared under Family, viewable by household. The pinboard was mine from months ago, guest list, vendor contacts, wardrobe notes. But half the links now pointed to updated contracts under a Lewis Events login. Lewis is Lila's last name. Adam had exported my contacts. The system log showed it timestamped at 1:12 a.m. during our trial separation week. He knocked on my door with a conciliatory bouquet. "Can we reset?" he asked through the wood. I didn't open. "What are we resetting?" I asked. "Lila's announcement." Silence. Then, "It's complicated." I typed to Jess. "I need a clean copy of the shared album metadata." She answered on it. "Bring your phone tomorrow." I crawled into bed with every muscle braced against my own skin. My job had taught me that truth makes patterns if you let it. The pattern was starting to speak. I needed one concrete thing, one undeniable, unspinnable piece. The next morning, my inbox gave it to me like a clerk sliding a file. "Probably a mistake," Mom murmured, smoothing the air the way she irons shirts. "Venues mix things up." The manager's note said otherwise. "Per your fiancé's request, transferring Nora M. Deposit to Lila L. New contract. Confirm authorization. Per your fiancé's request." I called. The assistant chirped. Adam said to streamline. Like betrayal could be a productivity tip. I forwarded everything to Jess. She pinged back with a plan. Export Apple Health steps for Adam's alibi night. Pull EXIF from the bar photos, and request pickup logs from Bracken and Company. "You need dates that refuse to blink," she texted. Meanwhile, the social weather worsened. 2 friends muted our group chat until things calmed down. A third sent a long voice note about choosing happiness and not letting jealousy win. Lila posted a pastel quote. "Sisters are mirrors. Some hate what they see." Comments bloomed like weeds. Hard eyes, church ladies, old classmates who loved a spectacle. Adam called at last. "You're misreading this," he said gently, "the way people talk to skittish animals." Lila needed help with ring specs. I picked it up as a favor. I asked, "And the deposit transfer?" He sighed. "Temporary. Your family's one unit." He always used family like a tool. At work, I processed graduation petitions and smiled at seniors who thanked me for keeping them on track. Proof comforted my palms. I filed forms and imagined filing my hurt. Jess met me on break, cracked open my phone's camera roll, and nodded at the bar photos. Same bathroom tile as Lila's townhouse, she said, zooming on a reflection. See that hex pattern? She posted a renovation story, identical. These selfies were taken there weeks before your proposal. Mom texted, be gracious. Don't make a scene. Graciousness had become the brand name for silence. I typed back, I'm gathering facts. At dusk, a florist DM'd, hi, confirming change to Lila's bouquet, using Nora's inspo board. I sat at my kitchen table with a legal pad and wrote 3 columns. Evidence, story, outcome. Under evidence, I wrote, pickup logs, metadata, venue email, engraving. Under story, I wrote, misunderstanding, family unity, sisters share taste. Under outcome, I left it blank. I was not ready to choose. The next clue arrived on paper, stubborn and perfect. The Bracken and Company. Envelope lay on my doormat like an uninvited truth. Inside, pickup log photocopy, date stamped 2 weeks before my private proposal. Signature, Adam, written with his neat block letters, the proxy box ticked. Item, oval paved band, engraving confirmed. That engraving was mine. NM plus AH, etched into a ring now parading on my sister's hand. I photocopied the log, slid it into my proof folder, and sat so still the refrigerator hum sounded like thunder. Adam hadn't just borrowed my order. He'd repurposed it. My future, reassigned with a flourish. That night, cloud notifications filled in the blanks. An iCloud backup had exported our chat history the night we argued over guest lists. At 1:14 a.m., my conversation threads saved under external device. Jess confirmed the obvious. He pulled your messages to shape a new timeline. He's building a narrative where Lila fits. I stared at the export log, a neat little line item that meant my voice had been stolen. I showed Mom. She shook her head as if truth were a fly. They probably mixed paperwork. Lila deserves happiness too. My chest cracked. With my fiancé? With my deposit? She pressed her lips. Be careful what you destroy. Families survive scandals worse than this. Adam finally appeared at my door, carrying roses and fatigue. Nora, he began, everything's spinning. I panicked. I made mistakes. I asked, whose ring is on her finger? He said, a placeholder. Ours is safe. My laughter startled both of us. Ours? I asked. She's wearing it, Adam. He leaned against the frame, eyes pleading for softness. If you expose this, you ruin all of us. He always spoke of ruin like it was my job to prevent it. Jess texted, meet me tomorrow. We'll dig deeper. Evidence before explosion. I locked the roses in the trash can outside. The thorns poked through the bag like reminders. Jess sat across from me at the registrar office break room, laptop glowing. EXIF doesn't lie, she said, pulling up Lila's secret selfies. Bathroom mirror shots, timestamped 3 weeks before Adam's official proposal. Metadata pinned the location. Her townhouse, bathroom tiles identical to her renovation story. See the engraving? Jess zoomed in until pixels blurred. That's your order number. The registrar in me whispered relief. Records still told the truth, even if people didn't. I visited the waterfront venue. The manager checked logs. Funny, she said. Your deposit was redirected last month under Adam's name. We thought you'd authorized your sister. She handed me the file. Under new contract name, Lila Lewis. I added it to the folder. Proof multiplied like weeds. That night, Adam texted, we can talk if you're calm. Calm. I screenshotted his message, labeled it in my folder. Gaslighting, 9:42 p.m. Mom called. Sweetheart, you'll drive yourself crazy with details. Just breathe. I said, details are all that's real. She sighed. Sometimes real is what keeps a family together. I wanted to shout that families shouldn't require theft to stay standing. Lila posted a photo of wine glasses clinking. Caption, to love that feels inevitable. My stomach lurched. Comments glowed. Perfect couple. So happy for you. I stared at the photo until I noticed something small. The table runner beneath the glasses was mine. The one Adam and I bought at a street market last fall. Jess called. There's more. The registry site she shared? It's a sham. Payments route to a shell account linked to her planner. Basically a funnel for your refunded deposits. I leaned back, notebook open, pen scarring the page. Ring theft. Deposit transfer. Registry scam. Chat export. The pattern was undeniable now. Still, the question coiled like a snake. Do I confront quietly, or do I let the whole family watch? The sham registry looked polished on the surface. Stock photos of smiling couples. Neat pastel headers promising donations toward shared dreams. But Jess dug into the payment trails. See this? She said, highlighting line items. Every transfer routes through a Stripe account tied to the same email Lila used for her townhouse HOA. Each deposit I'd made, venue, florist, planner, appeared as generous contributions. My money, laundered into her party fund, disguised as goodwill. It was a machine that turned betrayal into blessings. I scrolled until nausea felt like gravity. A line item dated the exact day I canceled an extra tasting. $300. Thank you for supporting L&A, Lila and Adam. The initials I once doodled in margins now lived on a fraud page. Proof answered what they were doing. Tampering, laundering, copying. But the why remained coiled. Was it status? Was it envy? Was I just a placeholder while they rehearsed a prettier story? At dinner, Mom hummed over potatoes. She deserves to be happy, she said. I asked with him. She set her fork down. Adam made a choice. Don't make yourself sick by tallying receipts. Receipts were my oxygen. Without them, I suffocated. That night, I arranged all my evidence on the table like puzzle pieces. Ring pickup log, florist invoice, cloud exports, registry funnel. The folder bulged. Still, exposure meant fallout. Shame, gossip, maybe even losing friends who couldn't stomach the mess. Quiet meant rot. Jess called late. You can't keep holding this alone, she said. Decide. Whisper to keep the peace, or make it loud enough to be undeniable. I thought about my students' transcripts, the way every credit either counted or didn't, nothing in between. Families should follow the same rules. The manager's voice crackled over speakerphone. Yes, the deposit transfer was initiated by Adam Hart, reassigning funds to Lila Lewis. We have both contracts on file. I asked her to repeat it. Jess hit record. My folder grew teeth. Next, I exported screenshots of the registry shell account, printed side by side with my canceled deposit receipts. I labeled each page with dates, handwriting sharp as confession. I copied every file twice. One set for Jess, one hidden at Claire's, the neighbor who didn't follow Lila's drama online. I packed them in envelopes marked open if I choke. At 2 a.m., Adam texted, "We need to talk face to face." I stared at the bubbles that didn't stop. This isn't what it looks like. Then, I love you both differently. Differently? I printed that too. The plan was simple. Gather indisputable proof, then stage a confrontation on neutral ground. Jess suggested the waterfront venue. It was already on record, already tangled with money. And bring your mom, she said. Transparency, or she'll dismiss it all as spin. I drafted an email to the venue. Please schedule a contract clarification meeting. I will bring my copy of the agreement. Attendees, Nora M., Adam H., Lila L., Elena M., witness requested. When I hit send, my hands shook like aftershocks. At breakfast, Mom chirped about invitations. She wants something elegant, she said. I asked, do you know she's wearing my engraved ring? Mom flinched. Don't be vindictive. Vindictive, I thought, and folded the proof into my bag. Jess texted one final reminder. Facts first, then voice. Don't give them room to rewrite. I set the date for Thursday, noon, waterfront office. Adam showed up at my apartment 2 nights before the scheduled meeting, holding lilies like they could erase engraving. Nora, he said softly. I caved under pressure. Your sister, she cornered me. I didn't mean for this to happen. His voice was velvet woven over wire. I let him talk. He spun a story about confusion, about favors that grew into obligations. You're the one I want, he swore. She just won't let go. My stomach burned with the memory of his signature on the pickup log. And the contract transfer? I asked. He blinked. Temporary. He loved that word. Temporary erasure. Temporary betrayal. The next day, Mom dragged me to a tasting. She said Lila couldn't attend alone. At the bakery, sugar dust floated like deceit. Lila leaned close over lemon samples, her voice pitched low. You think you're the victim? Go public, and I'll leak every message that makes you look pathetic. She smiled sweetly for the clerk. She's always indecisive, she told the staff, who nodded like they knew me. When I got home, Jess was waiting at my door with 2 coffees and a line I needed. Facts first, then voice. Let them hang themselves on evidence. That night, I spread out every page again. Each receipt, each export, each screenshot whispered one word. Ready. I folded them into a binder thick enough to hurt if it fell. Mom called late. Please don't embarrass us, she begged. Her voice cracked like porcelain. Marriage is complicated. Lila's just impulsive. Adam can be redeemed. I asked her, with my money? With my ring? She said nothing. I lay awake, listening to the fridge hum and the city outside whisper what Jess had already said. Facts first, then voice. The waterfront venue's conference room smelled faintly of salt and ink. Papers stacked in neat piles. The manager sat ready, a notary at her side, her laptop projecting contract logs on a wall screen. I arrived early, Jess beside me, binder on my lap. Mom walked in first, her smile stretched thin, eyes darting to the exits. Adam followed, tie crooked, palms damp. Lila swept in last, heels clicking, my ring catching light like a slap. Thank you for meeting, the manager began. We need to resolve discrepancies. She opened files, my contract, signed months ago, a second contract, same date, transfer deposit, signed by Adam, authorized to Lila. I slid forward my copy of the transfer email, voice steady. Per your fiancé's request, I read aloud. The notary typed. Lila crossed her arms. She's exaggerating. Adam wanted to fix mistakes. Her tone was silk stretched over spite. Jess tapped the laptop. Logs don't exaggerate. This shows export of Nora's vendor list to your account. Same timestamp as the shared album creation. The room stilled. Mom whispered, girls, please, but the manager overrode. 1 deposit, 2 claimants. We need clarity. I placed the pickup log on the table, engraving code highlighted. This is my ring. He signed for it. She's wearing it. Adam's mask faltered. It's complicated, he muttered again. Lila hissed, don't cave. I leaned in, voice even. It isn't complicated. It's documented. The manager clicked a button. Both contracts glowed side by side on the projector. Same date, same amount, same groom. Only the bride field had changed. The notary's words hung in the air like a struck bell. Fraud punishable by law. Adam's face drained, but Lila leaned forward, her smile sharpened to a knife. She's twisting this. Families share resources. Adam only moved deposits to simplify. The manager clicked again, pulling up system logs. Transfers don't simplify. They reroute funds. Here, note the metadata. Same IP address. Same timestamp as your registry launch. She turned the screen toward me. Jess nudged my elbow, whispering, it's airtight. I pulled the final exhibit from my binder. A screenshot of the sham registry funneling payments into Lila's planner account, overlaid with my florist refund. Side by side, Betrayal left no room for spin. This, I said, voice flat, is theft. This is deceit. And that ring, I pointed at her hand, was meant for me. Mom whimpered, pressing tissues to her face. Stop, both of you. Please. Adam ran a hand down his tie, searching for composure he no longer owned. I just wanted everyone happy, he stammered. I didn't mean. Didn't mean? Jess snapped. You forged transfers, exported chats, hijacked a proposal. Which part didn't you mean? Lila slammed her palm on the table. She's jealous. She can't stand me being chosen. The manager folded her hands. This office won't host events tied to disputed contracts. Your deposit is refunded to Nora, effective immediately. Lila, your account is blacklisted. Silence. The word blacklisted landed like a verdict. Adam muttered, you'll regret humiliating us. I stood, binder under my arm, body trembling but voice steady. No, I'll regret staying silent. Lila's mask cracked into fury. You think you've won? You've just painted yourself as pathetic. The notary stamped the papers, ink ringing louder than her words. Fallout doesn't arrive like thunder. It seeps, heavy and steady, into everything. Within days, group chats split into factions. Some cousins called me brave, others blocked me. Old classmates DM'd screenshots of Lila's posts, pastel quotes about bitter sisters, and love rising above jealousy. The comments stung, even when strangers defended me with facts. The venue wired back my deposit, but moving forward meant costs, counseling bills, changing locks, leaving the apartment Adam once shared. Online trolls posted memes with my face, cropped from old photos Lila had shared. I muted them all, but silence still ached. Mom stopped calling daily. When she did, her voice was small. "You should have handled it privately," she murmured. I asked her, "Would you have believed me without proof?" She went quiet, then hung up. Jess kept me anchored. "You've got your receipts. You've got your dignity. That's more than they can claim." We met for coffee, her laptop humming as she archived every file onto a secure drive. "In case they try to spin again," she said. One night, Adam slipped a letter under my door. "No apology, just a plea. Let me explain to your mom. Don't ruin her peace." I tore it in half and dropped it in recycling. Peace built on lies wasn't peace, it was rot. At work, I focused on transcripts and petitions. Students still smiled, still thanked me for keeping their timeline straight. Accuracy mattered there. It reminded me that truth survives somewhere. But nights were hardest. My mind replayed Lila's toast, the chandelier glittering on my stolen ring. Sometimes I wondered if I'd overcorrected, if dignity was worth isolation. Then I opened the binder, touched the stamped pages, and remembered, silence would have cost more. The lawyer's notice arrived crisp and official, but Jess scanned it and laughed. "Defamation requires lies," she said. "All you did was show receipts." Still, the paper rattled me. For days, I woke at 3 a.m., imagining courtrooms filled with whispers. Therapy helped. My counselor asked me to list boundaries I'd never enforced. I wrote, no shared passwords, no excuses for gaslighting, no tolerating silence disguised as peace. It felt strange, like building fences after years of open fields, but safety needs edges. I changed my phone number. I replaced locks on the apartment. I told Mom, gently but firmly, "If you bring Lila or Adam here, you won't be welcome." She cried, but I didn't back down. The line stayed drawn. At work, I spoke with vendors, florist, gown studio, planner, and sent a simple, factual statement. "I am no longer associated with Lila Lewis or Adam Hart. Please direct all inquiries to them." Clear, professional, free of drama. Rumors shrank when facts took oxygen. The refund from the venue gave me breathing room. I bought a second-hand laptop, opened a new savings account in my name only. For the first time in months, I felt like the registrar of my own life again. Jess and I created a shared drive with my proof folder archived safely. "Not for revenge," she said. "For protection." I nodded. Evidence no longer weighed me down. It anchored me. Evenings grew gentler. I cooked meals for one, read novels without checking my phone every 5 minutes. Sometimes loneliness knocked, but it was quieter than betrayal. One Sunday, I walked past the waterfront venue. Another couple posed for photos, rings flashing in the sunlight. My chest ached, but then steadied. Their joy wasn't mine to envy or compare. Ivy blue water shimmered behind them, endless and calm. It felt like a mirror of what healing could look like: boundaries, dignity, and space wide enough for breath. Looking back, the signs weren't subtle, they were systematic. Duplicate boards, redirected deposits, borrowed words. Betrayal isn't sudden. It's a slow siphon of truth until you catch the leak. I used to believe love could survive any mess if you smoothed edges long enough. Now I know, love without respect is just performance, and performance collapses under proof. My sister wanted status. My fiancé wanted convenience. Neither wanted honesty. The hardest lesson wasn't losing them. It was realizing silence had trained me to accept less. I stayed quiet to keep peace, but peace built on lies is captivity. Speaking up cost me friends, comfort, and even my mother's approval. But it gave me back myself. If you're watching this and see hints of your own story, double-check receipts. Save texts. Trust timestamps. Metadata isn't just tech jargon. It's truth hiding in plain sight. And never let anyone convince you that dignity is optional or too expensive to keep. Jess once told me, "Facts are love letters to yourself." She was right. Every file in my binder was proof that I mattered, that my story counted even when others tried to rewrite it. Now, mornings begin with quiet coffee, windows open, sunlight creeping across my desk. I'm not planning a wedding, I'm planning boundaries. And that feels like freedom. I still walk by the waterfront sometimes. At dawn, the water glows silver, calm and unbothered by the storms above it. That's the image I keep. Truth as water, steady and patient, carving stone no matter how long it takes. So here's my takeaway. For anyone with eyes on this screen, document. Protect your voice. Choose dignity over convenience. Because betrayal thrives in silence. But truth, once spoken, never goes back to sleep.